What are the big five in Eurovision? Why do they exist? And is this unfair rule actually necessary? Let's find out. There are 5 countries that do not have to qualify for the grand final of the Eurovision Song Contest. They are Spain, the United Kingdom, Italy, France, and Germany. And in the official Eurovision rules, they are therefore called the Big Five. In this video, I will talk about the origin story of this controversial rule, the pros and cons, and why it is so controversial. Let's go back to 1996 to find out why this rule came into existence. As the number of participating countries grew more and more after the fall of the Iron Curtain and with the dissolution of Yugoslavia and the Soviet Union, Eurovision had to find a way to select which of the interested broadcasters would be allowed to send a song to the competition. The organizers did not want the show to run too long, even though in the last couple of years they don't seem to mind too much anymore, and they also didn't want more than one show per Eurovision. There were many attempts to solve this conundrum over the years, resulting in the 2 semi-final system we have today. In 1993, the new countries of the East had to go through a qualifying round. In 1994 and 1995, the lowest placing countries in the previous years had to take a break. In 1996, however, the year that we are actually interested in, the solution of choice was a jury selection based only on audio files before the contest actually happened. 30 countries had sent in entries, but only 23 were able to qualify. Norway as hosts were pre-qualified already. Among the non-qualifiers that year was Germany, which led to very unamused reactions from the national broadcaster. Leon and his Planet of Blue had been among the favorites that year, but might have been hurt by the audio-only pre-selection. It is arguably indeed a better entry than most other songs that were on offer in 1996. Grumpy German broadcaster ARD decided not to show the event on its main channel for the very first time, as there was no German contestant. 1996 is still the only year in Eurovision history without a German entry. Eurovision was moved to regional channel NDR, which had taken over the organization of the German national final that year, and Europe's biggest TV market of 80 million people was thus mostly lost, which also angered Norwegian sponsors who had been promised a potential audience comprising the massive German market. Rumor has it that it wasn't actually Germany, but Norwegian broadcaster NRK that asked for the Big Five rule to be instated, although the only source I found for this is the official German website Eurovision.de. This shows that the 5 countries making up the Big Five, apart from being the biggest financial contributors to the EBU, which is often cited and criticized as the reason for the rule, are also its biggest TV markets, and losing one of these countries results in a huge loss of viewership and sponsors' interest in the contest. In 1999, another solution to the too many participants problem was found in that the least successful countries of the previous years were relegated and had to take a break to give other countries a chance. This brought about the birth of the Big Four rule. Italy at this point had said addio to Eurovision and meant that Germany, Spain, France, and the United Kingdom were not going to be relegated. When a semi-final and later semi-finals were introduced, the Big Four rule meant that these countries did not have to qualify for the grand final, and with Italy's return in 2011, they became the Big Five we know today. Now, is this rule actually important for Eurovision? I don't think we have to debate whether this rule is fair or unfair, because quite clearly a country not having to go through the semi-finals because of its size is unfair. However, arguably, the loss of one of these countries would mean a huge loss in viewership, in sponsors' interest, and also it would mean that an open door to one of Europe's biggest music markets would not be open anymore for the participating musicians and the songs to do well on the charts of that country. You could say that other countries that have not managed to qualify for a while did not withdraw. However, Big Five countries may have it much easier to find substitute programming for the night of the contest and might have it easier to leave Eurovision. Additionally, the more bigger countries contribute to the participation fee pot, the less smaller countries have to pay, which is also, I think, one argument why Australia is in the contest. It simply means that a country more is contributing, and so there's less cost for everyone else. The amount countries have to pay depend on the number of potential viewers, economic standing of the broadcaster, and certain aspects of the country itself, but they are not quite transparent. North Macedonia, Montenegro and Bulgaria all withdrew due to the high participation fee this year, 2023, and also because of the high cost of the contest being in the United Kingdom, as the UK is a more expensive country. And Russia not being allowed to participate anymore also left a hole in the budget, because Russia paid one of the highest participation fee outside of the Big Five. As it is at the discretion of the national broadcasters to publish the participation fee, we do not have a lot of data on this. However, Germany paid roughly 400,000 euros in the last couple of years. Spain paid 302,000 euros in 2022. And if we suppose that the UK, France, and Italy all pay something in between Germany and Spain, we can estimate that the Big Five account for something between 1.7 and 2.1 million of the 5 million total participation fees, which is quite a lot. Other figures we have include the Netherlands paid 250,000 in 2016, smaller countries like Montenegro paid 23,000 in 2012, and Malta 80,000 in 2010. More recent figures show that Ireland paid 92,500 euros in 2022, Romania 150,000, and Greece 130,000. If all of these figures are indeed correct, it means that Germany paid 4.3 times as much as Ireland did. However, Germany has 16 times more people than Ireland does, so that may mean that the size of the music and TV market may play a much bigger role in the Big Five rule than financial deliberations. The rule is still very controversial. Turkey cites it as one of the reasons why it is no longer participating in Eurovision, and especially in the early 2000s when the Big Five frequently came in the bottom five, partly because they sent very, very, very bad entries.
Ladies and gentlemen, your exits are here, here, and here. You're better on the
Indignation was growing that they got a free pass with less than perfect offerings. This trend has changed a bit with Italy's win in 2021 and France coming second that year, and the UK and Spain coming second and third in Eurovision 2022. Let's not talk about Bruno. I mean, Germany.
I'm sorry. 0 points.
While direct qualification is an advantage, there are also some drawbacks. For example, you don't get to perform in the semifinals. You don't go viral probably between the semifinal and the final. So there's just a lot less exposure, and it might be harder for the Big Five to win the final for that reason. However, Germany's win in 2010 and Italy's win in 2021 seem to prove the opposite. What do you guys think? Should the Big Five rule be abolished, or is it actually necessary for Eurovision to survive? Let me know in the comments, and please subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like this one explaining the rules of Eurovision. I have videos on Eurovision history as well and on Eurovision 2023. Check it out, and I'll see you for my next video. Bye bye.